Atomic Number 60, Book 1. Dave Johnston. The future is something which everyone reaches at the rate of 60 minutes an hour, whatever he does, whoever he is. C.S. Lewis. Chapter 1. October 3, 2014. 1 hour to go. An hour can be a long time. Long enough to take a bath. Long enough to count your shoes. Long enough to enjoy a cocktail, or two. Long enough to clean a weapon. Long enough to shoot some hoops. Long enough to get ready, well, almost long enough. Long enough to study a language. Long enough to read a book. Long enough for naked Scrabble, anybody? No takers? Sad face. Those precious 60 minutes are effortlessly shaped to just close your eyes and chill. Shut out this intense world, full of work and travel and responsibilities. Shut out this crazy world, thick with drugs and dollars and wars. Shut out this harsh world, alive amongst hatred and fighting and killing. I screwed my eyes up tight, it didn't work. The resonance of blood still swam cavernous in my troubled soul. Come on, Holly, I beat myself. 1 hour. 60 minutes. 3,600 seconds. 3,600 ticks. And a lifetime Euro trademark S list of things to do. But what would your heart desire? I shifted my weight, as the straps dug in. What would you consider most important? The scream of silence darkened my thoughts. What would you want? What would you do? What would you choose? The dusty, lifeless room ignored me. What would come to pass Euro if you knew you only had 1 hour of life left to live? Chapter 2. October 3, 2014. 3 hours and 29 minutes to go. Euro Holly? Holly? Are you home, Euro? I could hear Mum calling to me from downstairs. Oh hi, I Euro trademark M Holly Holloway. 5 feet 11 inches. 25 years old. And yes, I still live at home with my parents. I ignored her. She came up the stairs looking for me anyway. Euro Iso, Euro Mum said slyly, appearing in the doorway. Euro Iso, what? Euro I replied, innocently. Euro Iso what? So, how did it go last night with Marcus? Euro. Ah, Marcus, the son of a lady from Mum's book club. I shrugged my shoulders. Euro come on Euro Mum exclaimed, hands on hips. Euro he Euro trademark S an investment banker, you know, Euro. She said it like that should be the gateway to any woman Euro trademark S heart. The key to flip me and work me. I figured I'd reply, just to get her off my case. Mum, he was slippery, creepy, and a whole lot gropey. No chance. Euro he was well dressed, generous and Euro had wonderful hair. There just wasn't a Euro trademark T that. Euro connection Euro trademark. You know? Euro not like with you and Dad Euro. Euro I owe your father. Mum blurted out. Don't Euro trademark T you talk to me about your father. Do you know? We Euro trademark VE been married for 27 years? 27 years. And every Tuesday, for 27 years, he has had his pork chops cooked the same way, grilled, with a dab of oil Euro. I nodded. Dad was a creature of habit. Euro well, do you know what he said to me earlier? Euro match Euro trademark, he said to me. Euro match, tonight. I Euro trademark D like my pork chops fried. Maybe in some garlic Euro trademark. Euro I mean, 27 years. I whacked myself in the nose with my palm, quickly trying to stifle my laughter. Mum leant in conspiratorially and whispered, do you think it means he's having an affair, Euro? Chapter 3. October 3, 2014. 58 minutes to go. IA Euro trademark am not really one for sitting still. IA Euro trademark VE always had that itch. A Euro Twitchitisha Euro trademark my grandma called it. That itch to get out there. Out into the world. Everybody forgets that people like me were once children. They just see that hard, adult shell. As a child, I would roam free all day, every day. Sometimes IA Euro trademark D be missing for hours. Off. In my own little bubble. Wandering back home eventually, expecting that Martians had invaded while IA Euro trademark D been out. These days I have to temper those urges. Guard against the dangers out there. Keep my wits about me. But that crazy, spirited little girl is still in there. Still beating strong. Still running wild. Still wondering if my family were replaced by aliens all those years ago. The straps were biting into my wrists again. So, no, sitting still isn't a Euro trademark T always for me. Sometimes there isn't a choice though. Sometimes it is forced upon you. Like now. Like the way I am securely strapped to this chair. Ah, the simple chair. Wood nailed to wood. Joint glued to joint. An individual piece of apparatus. This chair wasn't alone though. Wire entwined wire. This chair had an appendage. Cog rotated cog. An accessory. Tick followed tick. A friend. Well it did, for the next 57 or so minutes, anyway. Until that a Euro trademark ticked round to zero, sparked, ignited, and spilt us all asunder. Unwelcome, a thin bead of sweat formed at my hairline. I sat still, because the sweat bead released, trickling a path amongst the curves of my tension. 3,420 ticks to go. Chapter 4. October 3, 2014. 3 hours and 27 minutes to go. You have such scrawny hips, Mum said. She was moving around the bedroom, eyeing up my figure with the disappointment of a lioness stalking a skinny buffalo. You know what, Holly, a Euro, she continued. A Euro, I really feel like I'm ready for a grandchild. Mum. I exploded. I think you'll find our body clocks are in very different time zones. You've got to prepare for these things, dear. A child can take at least 5 years of planning. Do you have a 5-year plan? I flicked through the black outfits in my wardrobe, diligently ignoring her. Year 1, the courtship. Year 2, cohabiting. Year 3, marriage. Dad. I shouted down the stairs. Mum wants you. I figured Dad was already in trouble, so I may as well stitch him up further. I don't know, Mum shook her head sadly. You girls seem so obsessed with your careers these days. I mean, Jenny's Marcus could take care of you, she said, shrewdly. Then you could pack in your office job, let your maternal instincts take charge. Why don't you and Dad have another child? I interrupted, turning the tables. It isn't too late for you, you know. Meryl Streep, Madonna, Uma Thurman, they were all still having babies into their 40s. Everything all right up here, ladies. Dad had arrived, ready to be dropped in it. I lightly skipped past him, pecking him gently on the cheek. Mum wants to know if you'd like to try for another baby, I said breezily over my shoulder. Oh, and whether you want boiled or mashed potatoes with your pork chops tonight. Really? Dad said, turning to Mum in surprise. But Madge, you know I always have boiled potatoes. For a split second, there was silence. Exactly. Mum shouted, throwing her hands up in the air. Chapter 5. October 3, 2014. 3 hours and 26 minutes to go. I bounced down the stairs, passing the photos of me and my parents through the ages. Mum. Had chosen and framed them, Dad had nailed them to the wall. It's how their world worked. My favorite photo is the one of me and my brother, Sam. Me aged 7. Sam aged 2. Happy, smiling, carefree. Until the illness took him from us. Until meningitis carelessly stole him. They tried to save him, of course. He spent 8 weeks in the hospital. My parents never left his side. They took his leg. They took his fingers. They did other unspeakable things. But the sickness didn't care. The sickness didn't care that he was only 2. The sickness let him suffer, then took him all the same. I crossed into the kitchen, grabbed a water from the fridge, and then opened the door down to the basement. Dad had kitted it out for me. Bare, breeze block walls. Hard, cement floor. Whitewashed ceiling. Nothing to look at. Nothing to distract. No other purpose to serve. I slipped off my shoes, pulled on the gloves and attacked the punch bag. Light jabs to start with. Building into harder hits with a flurry of combinations. I stayed low, hitting to the kidneys, allowing the creaking bag to swing back and hit me in the shoulder each time. Then I went again. The bleak room phased out of my vision, until it was just me and the bag, doing the dance. I punched and I punched. I fought and I fought. I screamed and I screamed. But the meningitis didn't care. The sickness still took Sam. And I still did the dance. The Dance of the Dead. Chapter 6. October 3, 2014. 3 hours and 25 minutes to go. Duck, dive, bob, weave. Thrust from the hips. I did as my instructor had shown me, and more. The bag's random swings designing a fluid and fluctuating workout. 26 seconds of bag work so far. I wasn't counting, I just knew. I'd learned to do it. My internal clock able to tell me exactly what time it was. No need for watches or digital devices. Tick, 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 tick. 38 seconds now. My usual routine is 1 minute of bag, 1 minute of skipping, on rotation for 20 minutes. 1.39% of my day. I always made room for it. Left, left, right. Right, right, left. Drive the knee to the groin. Uppercut to the neck. Keep on attacking. No mercy. Don't give any ground. Push through the screaming muscles. Don't stop, well, don't stop, unless your phone is ringing, it's your cousin, and at this time of the morning it can only mean one thing. Kelly. I answered. Oh, Holly. Dan's left me. Took his toothbrush last night. Crept out while I was asleep. Then text me to say he's been seeing Molly from accounts. Molly, with her fake boobs and perfect body. I'm never any good with advice. Conversations like this always make me feel uncomfortable. The question I'd ask, Kelly, is will her plastic breasts and banging curves make him happy? Humor was always my panicked fallback. Kelly knew it as well, but she still always called me. I think it helped her deal with it dispassionately. Did I mention she's also really funny and good at cooking? Wow! I exclaimed. She sounds like a straight smoking fox. You got a number there for her. Chapter 7. October 3, 2014. 3 hours and 24 minutes to go. Ha, ha. Ah, Holly. I always feel so much better for sharing. I could hear the yield in her voice. Kelly would bounce back, she always did. Usually. Straight into the arms of another total asshole. You know my motto, I said. Sharing is caring. Ha, Kelly laughed. I thought it was, sharing is wearing. Let's face it, you've never really been one for getting emotional, have you, Holly? You always were cool as a cucumber. Even as a kid. I mean, do you remember what we saw in the barn that time? I stayed silent. Sorry. Kelly exclaimed into the awkward blankness. Don't know why I brought that up. Listen, do you fancy getting together at mine later? You can help me with my burning ritual. Kelly liked to burn all her ex-boyfriend's stuff, as some sort of exorcism. I thought Dan already took his toothbrush. I pointed out. He did. And I don't have any photos of him. But I could print his bio off the company website and then we can burn that. Okay. Not sure what I've got on with work today, but I'll buzz you later. Perfecto, I'll keep the matches on ice. Speak to you later, kiddo. I hung up the call and picked up the boxing gloves. My muscles growled their disapproval. At me, you woke us up, don't leave us hanging. I stretched upwards, arching my back and flaunting my figure. No one was looking, but I wasn't after any appreciation. Sometimes you're allowed to just enjoy your own shape. Your own definition. Your own being. And then I was back on it. The bag had blurred from disease to Dan. Left, right, liver, eyes, ribs, balls. When I was done, Dan wouldn't be able to see for a week. And his trousers would be home to a pair of oversized grapefruits. Chapter 8. October 3, 2014. 53 minutes to go. Mild OCD can manifest itself in even the strangest of situations. So I've got a favorite number. So it's exciting to see it twice. So kill me. I watched. I waited. Tick. Tick. 52 minutes and 52 seconds. Maybe this was my doom sign. The last time I'd ever see that completely pointless occurrence again. Perhaps my next excitement would be within the bomb's final minute. When the clock would alert me to the final 52 seconds of my life. On reflection, maybe I should have chosen a bigger favorite number. The digits on the display were bold and red and angry. I wished I couldn't see them. I wished not to know the truth. I wished to take my eyes off them. But I stared at them nonetheless, taking solace from their presence in this lonely room. I blinked hard, the bomb was still there. It hadn't moved. It wasn't moving. It didn't have to. Mentally, my body could sense its throb. Sense its desire. Sense its purpose to fulfill the one and only thing it was designed to do. Detonate. Damage. Destroy. I almost giggled. The bomb looked like something out of a cartoon. Wires and whirring. Bits. A monotonous ticking sound. The casing vividly red, just in case I hadn't already understood the device's hazardous significance. But that's where the cartoon references ended. When it went off, I probably wouldn't still be sitting here, with a smoky black face and char-grilled hair. So I just sat still, strapped in and waiting. Because I couldn't do anything else. And then the dynamic of the situation changed. A door opened to my left. A man strode purposefully into the room. I was honestly glad of the company. Even though he was here to kill me. Chapter 9. October 3, 2014. 2 hours and 50 minutes to go. Sliced banana on toast. The breakfast of a woman on the go. Like all of the great heroines from the past, I possess in my armory that superpower called multitasking. So, whilst my wholemeal bread smoldered slowly under the hot grill, I valiantly sidled across to the fruit bowl and carefully selected a banana most suited to the layering duties. Like I said, multitasking. The female population can hold its collective head up high. Me personally though, I secretly envy the male population a Euro trademark S super talent, delegation. They ultimate power, often referred to as idleness. So, how was it with Marcus kid last night? Dad asked with a grin, pulling out a breakfast stool and settling in with the morning paper. Crossword. Sports? Pull out the horoscopes section for Mum. My dad, the stereotype. I made a vomit face at him. You mean Kid the Squid? Squid? Dad asked, raising an eyebrow quizzically at me. Lita Euro trademark S just say he had a dodgy case of the wandering tentacles. I clarified, poking it. Dad's behind with a banana for sensory effect. For a brief moment, I thought I perceived a flash of paternal darkness sweep menacingly across my father's eyes. It was soon replaced though, by his customary twinkle. If you like, he offered. I can remove all of Marcus' bones for you. You're all right, Dad, haha. Marcus kinda tripped on the way out of the restaurant anyway. Sprained both of his wrists, €1. I sliced my banana casually with all the innocence of daughterhood. €1 Epiramedic says he Euro trademark LL. Have them in ice and bandages for the next few weeks €1. €1 that's a shame €1 Dad said, stretching out his long frame. €1 sounds like the squid won a Euro trademark T. Be squirting his ink around again anytime soon. €1 Dad, €1 I laughed, tucking into my toast. What you got there, anyway? Dad inquired, eyeing up my breakfast. Think you could? Maybe make me one of those. Chapter 10. October 3, 2014. 51 minutes to go. I stayed silent as the man moved around the room. He was so pumped. So zealous. So intense. His eyes had not met mine since his return, but I knew they were dark and deep and troubling. I had seen them before, when we first met, when he took me, when he strapped me down. He was still wearing his tight leather jacket, brown and bright against his dark jeans. It added bulk and style to his 6 feet 2 inches frame. He rocked the gym hipster vibe. I also noticed he'd swapped his shoes for sneakers. Perhaps deciding that if he was going to die, he might as well do it in comfort. Because, quite evidently, that is what he had decided upon. To die, that is. He was here for the duration. His body language showed an acceptance, even an eagerness, for death and whatever else. He felt that promised. Nothing could stand in the way of the explosion. His death was a necessity. A requirement. To see it through. Make sure that the bomb went off. Ensure that nobody discovered it. Ensure that nobody raised the alarm. And I was that nobody. Strapped to this chair. Strapped to this bomb. With no way of influencing the outcome. He glanced over at the digital display. 50 minutes and 16 seconds. Dropping to his knees, he began murmuring something that I couldn't make out. Pointing his 2 index fingers upwards, he shut his eyes and lowered his head. It was the prayer of the fanatical, that further loosened my grip on the chance of survival. I dropped my head and prayed too. Prayed to something I didn't believe in. Prayed for salvation. And still it ticked. As I knew it would. As the stars had foretold. Chapter 11. October 3, 2014. 2 hours and 48 minutes to go. What star sign are you, Holly? Mum inquired, finger perusing down the page. Sagittarius is it? Yep, Mum, I answered, keeping the irritable tone to a minimum. Birthday is still December the 1st. Same as it was yesterday. I swear Mum pads out her life with unnecessary questions. €1 or a yes, here we go €1 Mum forged on. She was like a brick wall. Sarcasm just bounced right off her. €1 or Olga the oracle says, a certain person could come into your life today, if you allow them. A problem at home or work can be resolved, if you are patient, and a ticking clock may be of significance, so act fast if possible. A ticking clock, hey. I pondered. Could be my alarm clock? Could be my body clock? Could be in reference to that speed chess competition I'm in later. Dad snorted through his cornflakes. Could be a bomb, he added helpfully. Don't be so dismissive of it just yet, Mum continued, unperturbed. Olga finishes, your lucky number is 2, your compatible sign is Libra, and a change in hair color could provide a strong financial outlook. Let me see that. I clamored, making a grab for the paper. Mum had never been very encouraging about my hairstyle. Something to do with it being short and shock red. Just something to think about, dear, Mum said, after whipping the paper away from my grasp. Lightning quick reactions ran deep in our gene pool. Now then, Peter, lead a Euro trademark. See what Virgos have in store today. Mum looked at Dad excitedly as she read the vague predictions. Oh gosh, enrollment in an online or evening class may prove to be rewarding. Under his breath, I heard Dad mutter something about it being the perfect opportunity for some peace and quiet. From Mum's face, I couldn't tell whether she'd heard or not. Chapter 12. October 3, 2014. 2 hours and 47 minutes to go. What evening course would you do, Dad? I asked, trying to think of something witty. Basket weaving. I already majored as a youth in underwater basket weaving, so I've probably got that one covered. Arg, it was always so difficult to get one up on Dad. I took the bait. That's not a thing. Dad shrugged. Sure it is, I had the bends at college for 2 years. I think that was caused by whatever you were smoking. Mum interjected, chewing her pen lid and considering the Sudoku. The 80s, Dad mused. I have no recollection of that decade whatsoever. My parents, the hipsters. Who knew? Hang on, Dad. I was born in the 80s. Oh yes, greatest day of my life. I remember it well, it was a beautiful, sweltering day in August. Haha, very funny. I pretended to wipe a tear away from my eye, then slid him over the breakfast I'd just lovingly prepared for him. He won, he always won. That's what dads do, and he was damn good at it. Right, he said. I'm gonna go eat my breakfast in the living room and watch the news. Dad didn't need to tell us. It's what he always did. His chair would be expecting him. I would often find Mum combing the carpets to hide Dad's usual routes around the house. Got anything exciting on at work today, dear? Mum asked me. Nah, just the usual, I evaded casually, like a teenager being questioned about her day at school. That's nice, love, Mum said languidly. We wouldn't want you enjoying yourself now. Would we? That was me told. Damn, what was going on this morning? I was getting fully schooled by my parents. Chapter 13. October 3, 2014. 2 hours and 46 minutes to go. I spoke to Kelly this morning, Mum. Dan has left her. Oh my poor niece. When is she going to find somebody nice to settle down with? Mum put her pen down and pushed the Sudoku away. Relationship gossip was her favorite hobby. Just in front of instantly judging people, and nagging me. You said he was no good, didn't you? I shrugged modestly. No one likes a smug face. I'd looked Dan up on the computer, of course. No convictions or red flags there. But he'd always had the eyes of a cheater. I'd felt them on me a few times. Evaluating me. Soaking me in. Lingering dirtily on my arches. Kelly evidently couldn't be told though. She knew he was wrong for her. Knew he would cause her upset. But she went with him all the same. I think she secretly enjoyed the drama. Or apparently he trademark s run off with Molly from accounts, I told Mum. Taken his toothbrush. And snuck out in the middle of the night. Mum sucked in through her teeth. Cheating scoundrel. What does this Molly from accounts have over my beautiful niece? Does she have a rich father? What was the parent-friendly version of boob job? Bosom reassignment? Before I could panic about saying rude words in front of my mum, my phone vibrated on the worktop. I read the message. Work. Urgent. Have you seen the news? Dad called from the living room. Is saying the national threat alert has been raised. Sorry Dad, gotta go. I shouted, pecking Mum on the cheek and grabbing my bag. You work too hard. Mum murmured behind my back. That job will be the death of you. Chapter 14. October 3, 2014. 47 minutes to go. My incarcerator was brooding darkly in the corner. The dead air between us was thickening. Time to end the silence. Time to blag my liberation. Time to engage the enemy. Excuse me? Sorry, I need the bathroom. My voice sounded small and feeble. I cursed my weakness. I watched as his eyes danced in their sockets and his toes tapped to the rhythm of death. My fragile request had been like throwing strontium salts onto his suicidal fire. Can I get a hell yeah for chemistry? You are so pathetic, he spat. You deserve to die. His disregard for my life angered me into a quick response. Somebody will come, you know, I said in defiance, my eyes wide and my neck stiff. There'll be a rescue plan, there always is. His low laughter made my butt clench. This isn't some Hollywood movie, he said menacingly, spewing the word Hollywood out like it was a flea. No one is coming. No one knows we're here. There are no special agents waiting to save the day. Ha, do you not watch the news? I said coolly. The national threat level was raised this morning. They're onto you, buddy. I tried to look smug, but my expression looked more like an otter trying to blow a whistle. He shook his head slowly and with confidence. We are alone. You are going to die today. Blow us up now then. I screamed, the fury speeding through my body and out of my mouth faster than my brain could stop it. Why wait? His eyes drifted back to the digital countdown, glowing with ominous precision. Enjoy it now, while you can, he smoldered. Soon your trademark LL burning. Burning for eternity. Chapter 15. October 3, 2014. 46 minutes to go. His last sentence nipped at my soul, but I kept my back straight and my head up. Partly due to my inbuilt stubbornness. Partly due to the heavy straps that bound me. You're a coward, I seethed. A brainwashed little terrorist who wants to play with the big boys. And you're going to be a dead little bitch that no one will mourn for, he raged. Thall. Never be able to identify you, because you'll be ripped into tiny little pieces. He was on his feet now, snarling towards me. The room was cold, but I was warming to my subject. Maybe he would make a mistake? Maybe this was my best chance. They'll know you, I continued. They'll find you on CCTV. You'll be vilified around the world. They'll make your family suffer. My family? My family will be revered. I'll be a martyr to my people. To my faith. What kind of faith encourages you to murder innocent people? Innocent, he gagged, glaring at my short red hair. The way you dress. The way you act. You disgust me. You are a trussed up, filthy pig. The storm was mixing in his blood now. I resolved to stir the pot. I saw you looking at me, I whispered seductively. You call me a pig, but I see in your eyes you want me. You repulse me, he spat. I wouldn't tell them €, I suggested delicately. €, or if you let me live, I wouldn't tell them what we did. What I let you do. That seemed to make him stop. I waited. His face was shrouded by the shadows. His sinews taut beneath his jacket. My lips were dry. He moved carefully towards me. I kept my body loose. In his eyes I saw a hunger. And then his fist smashed into my face. Chapter 16. September 3, 2014. 14 hours and 20 minutes to go. I checked my phone. 7:45 p.m. Marcus was late. Not a good look, pal. It was cold outside, but I didn't feel it. Even in this skimpy black number. Even with my short hair. Even with the distinct lack of warm excitement fizzing in my belly. This date was a means to an end. The end. It was playground stuff really. Marcus had asked his mum to ask my mum. My mum asked me. I agreed to it, but strictly on my own terms. What next? A game of kiss chase out on the school fields? I'd given him my conditions. It had to be tonight. It had to be in the city. I would choose where we ate. I checked my phone again. You've got 30 seconds, buddy. A bus sped past on the main road, an advert for the latest action movie slapped across it. And around it. And anywhere else the promoters could paste it, without fully impeding the driver. I used to love going to the movies. That absolute escapism. That plunge into another world. Another life. Another adventure. A role within a role. Hi, I'm Marcus. He Euro trademark D arrived. Hi, I'm Holly. I felt his eyes across me, as he cupped my shoulders with his hands. I sensed the faint smells of alcohol and arrogance. May I say, that you are looking love Holly tonight, he remarked, kissing my cheek. My cheek, one of a pair, now slightly tainted with cheesy bile. Marcus looked pleased with himself. I guessed he'd been practicing that little icebreaker at home in front of the mirror. Chapter 17. September 3, 2014. 14 hours and 19 minutes to go. My phone vibrated. Pleasantries done, time to move on. I checked the screen. It was a booking confirmation message. The details were for the new French restaurant in the city center. About 5 minutes walk from where we were stood. €, where are you taking me then, €, he asked. Marcus made it sound like he was doing me a favor. Maybe he was. €, he wait a trademark S with all the secrecy, €, he persisted. Have you heard of chez Cabernita trademark, I asked evenly. You have a reservation there, he spluttered. But there a trademark SA waiting list a mile long. Even I can't a trademark T get in there for the next 2 months. How could you have arranged that at the last moment, €? Eat a trademark S sad to see somebody so impressed by something so meaningless. That circle of one. Upmanship amongst the city set. Each vying to outdo the other with utter triviality. Elaborate. Watches. Expensive fruit bowls. Fancy salt and pepper shakers. I could have stripped to my underwear right now, and Marcus wouldn't a trademark T have been any more dazzled. I hadn't a trademark T realized it was so difficult I answered effortlessly. Innocent. Navi. Butter wouldn't a trademark T melt. Marcus already had his phone out, texting his crowd. I saw a brief flash of the screensaver. Tony Montana. Every rich boy loved to think they were gangster. Well, Come on then, a euro, Marcus implored, taking charge now. His excitement was leading him to believe that this was his idea. That this was his achievement in life. That this was his reservation to the top. Every dog has his day. I was happy to roll with it. Play the trophy date. Be seen on his arm. A euro, Yua euro trademark LLB needing this, Marcus said, thrusting something into my hand. A euro trademark S my business card, and yes, that a euro trademark S Egyptian cotton you can feel a euro. Credit where eat a euro trademark S do, I guess. A euro trademark D initially thought it was going to be the number of a taxi. Firm a euro with the suggestion that a euro trademark D be needing one from his apartment later. Chapter 18. October 3, 2014. 43 minutes to go. My body awoke first, tugging my chin from my chest. Disorientation was quickly replaced by pain. A lot of pain. I tried to open my eyes, but the world remained dark. My eyeballs felt like they were rolling up in their sockets. My eyelids were refusing to budge. The bone of my skull ached deeply. I felt a desire to cradle my head in my hands. The biting straps declined my request. I clenched my teeth together hard, squeezing my eyelids closed tightly. Perhaps I could simply push the pain out and away through my ears? The throbbing began to intensify with the strain. The blood swarmed to a crescendo within my brain. I relaxed my mind, counting out 10 perfect seconds. 1. I did a euro trademark T. 2. Need my 3. Eyes open. 4. To see. 5. The digital. 6. Display. 7. My mind. 8. New win. 9. I reached. 10. It was time. I wincingly opened my left eye, the eyebrow attempting to drag the lid further up. Through the tiny, bright lights of vision, I saw my captor across the room. He'd removed his brown leather jacket, displaying a black t-shirt underneath. He looked pleased to be the big man. Especially now. Especially now he'd revealed the badass gun strapped across his chest. Goading him hadn't worked, I needed a new plan. A new plan, to save my life. Mine, and whose ever else's were going to be in this huge building in 42 minutes. Time. Chapter 19. September 3, 2014. 14 hours and 11 minutes to go. We were taken to our reserved table by the front window, Marcus leading the way. Nice suit, check. Nice shoes, check. Nice package. I didn't check. I'm a lady. But sure, it was nice. He was smooth. He was refined. He was polished. I could see how ladies out there could slip on his slickness, possibly requiring traction as a result. As eye candy went though, he'd do perfectly tonight. Would it go anywhere? No chance. I liked my men with a bit more danger. We took our seats across the table from each other. The front window was to my right. The Restauranta Euro trademark S other guests to my left. All of them dazzling in opulent splendor. So, Marcus began, ready for dating. Future speak. How many children would you like to have? Wow. First question up. What a conversation starter. I guessed he probably spent his weeknights alone. Sitting in his bachelor apartment. Wearing just his underpants, playing warfare video games. Wishing for that life partner that he could spend the remainder of his time lying to and cheating on. The fallback plan. The housewife. Never alone again. Oh, a couple at least, I replied gaily, playing nice, watching the reflection of the restaurant's guests in the window. A euro trademark D go with 3 euro Marcus claimed, rubbing at his right thumb a euro trademark S worn pad. A euro got all leave. Each of my millions to somebody, a euro. Mid-30s. childlessly suicidal. His desperation was visibly leaking. My soul did an internal €50 trademark. This was gonna be a long one. I signaled to the waitress, as I smiled pleasantly at the man opposite me. No, not Marcus. The other man. Chapter 20. September 3, 2014. 14 hours and 10 minutes to go. He didn't return my smile, not straight away. Not until I properly caught his stare. Not until his eyes found their way to my tight black dress and bright crimson hair. Not until I flaunted it, vaunted it, and taunted it. I smiled beguilingly at him again. He had that dramatic Russian beauty. A tightly stubbled jaw. Contoured eyebrows twisting along the path of his furrowed temple. Deep brown eyes that held many dark secrets. He looked dangerous. My belly fizzled with excitement. He was sitting 2 tables away, directly across from the window, his starter untouched in front of him, his left index finger making vigorous small circles on the table. He looked serious. Dead serious. That Euro trademark s okay though. I did serious. I can do serious. Another man was at his table, his back towards me. Their conversation appeared intense, in hushed, intimate tones. Like a married couple, eventually reaching that mutual decision to separate. To go their own ways. To live life Euro or leave it. His eyes flicked up briefly once more, alighting immediately on me, then moving again to the window. He Euro trademark D definitely noticed me though. That was enough. For now. I followed his gaze out of the window. My position was fortunate. I was directly in his eye line. Directly in view of his fascination. Directly in view of a true wonder. For outside, opposite the restaurant, in all its monolithic splendor, was a grand stone building of huge importance. Adorned with ceremonial columns and lined with symmetrically spaced trees, it looked resplendent in the moonlight. It was the true object of my Russiana Euro trademark S desire. City Hall. Chapter 21. September 3, 2014. 14 hours and 9 minutes to go. Red, white or sparkling? Marcus' question drew my eyes back from the window. The wine, he clarified, a Euro, not the type of underwear you're wearing a Euro. Guffaw, guffaw. Pink G-string, I answered blithely, pausing for suspense. A Euro, it's on the cocktail list, I clarified, under the gin section. A look of disappointment momentarily brushed his face. Undeterred though, he startlingly placed his hand lightly upon my bare leg under the table. As if my flippancy had been some sort of invitation. Some sort of come on. I removed it deftly, like a dirty banana skin being dropped into the rubbish pile. Marcus chuckled like a schoolboy, shaking off my deflection, probably figuring that I just required some alcohol to loosen me up. I let it go. I wasn't ready to make a scene. Not yet. So, come on then, what do you look for in a man? He asked it with that air of misplaced confidence. Like I could say anything, and he'd be able to twist it in his mind to fit with his own qualities. Well, a Euro, I began. A Euro, I like dark hair. Marcus nodded. He had blonde hair, but figured the hairs on his toes were probably brown. Somebody respectful. He could do that. Presumably just involved leaving the toilet seat down and giving her a wide berth once a month. And someone with an interest in dogs. Dogs? I love dogs. I have a dog, Marcus swiftly lied. He lied so well, in fact, it was as if he really did have a dog at home, pining cutely for its missing master. No, not dogs. I laughed. I'm allergic to dogs. A Euro docks. I love watching boats at the docks. Feel that burn. Chapter 22. September 3, 2014. 14 hours and 8 minutes to go. Docks, like, the container ships? Marcus questioned, bouncing back. Clearly he'd forgotten all about his mythical mutt, hungry and alone at home, hopefully. Urinating into Marcus a Euro trademark diamond-encrusted fruit bowl. Sure, a Euro I qualified. A Euro big, strong, Eastern European men. Moving mass and hauling ass. It's my favorite day out, a Euro. You know what, I love that film. What is it? On the waterfront. He had me there. I loved that film too. Well, I did, until Marcus spoiled it. I coulda had class. I coulda been a contender. I coulda been somebody. It was an impression of Marlon Brando, but only after he'd been run down by a truck and forced through a mincer. Lots of shoulders, lots of mastication, lots of slobbering. Some things just can't be unseen. Deep breath. Yes, that's it. I guess a mixture of docker and boxer is my ideal man. Marcus leaned back in his chair with unseemly swag. At my apartment, I have a punch bag in my gym room, a Euro, he said. A Euro I go a few rounds with it every day. Marcus checked his knuckles. I've worn out a few in my time, let me tell you. And maybe he had? Punch bags, of course, don't hit back. If you like, Marcus offered dirtily, I could show you how to handle the bag. Throw you around a bit. Work up a sweat, get our muscles pumping. His hand was on my leg again. Who fell for this stuff? I stood up quickly, the beautiful Russian looking fiercely at me and / or City Hall again. Excuse me, a Euro, I blurted to Marcus. A Euro, I just need to go powder my nose. Read, scrub clean my leg. Chapter 23. October 3, 2014. 38 minutes to go. Ow, with a big W. My head still hurt from the punch, I could feel my right eye swelling. Punch bags don't hit back. Yeah, good one, Holly. He was across the room. I looked straight at him. I refused to feed his satisfaction. Other than kneeling and pointing upwards again a few minutes ago, he had remained in a fairly meditative state. He was seated on the floor with his back against the wall, casually waiting to be torn apart and delivered to his promised land. I took my chances again. I couldn't go quietly. I wouldn't a Euro trademark tea. Whereabouts are you from? My voice was raspy and dry. He ignored me. What's your name, at least? I'm Holly. Holly Holloway. I know. I can read. He indicated with his head towards my name badge. I live with my parents, I persisted, unruffled. I do yoga in the park, and I have a phobia of tomato ketchup. So come on, what's your name? He pretended to muse on it for a few seconds, like he was deciding carefully whether to share. But I could sense he was going to tell me. I waited, like a good, obedient hostage. Leo, he finally relented, akin to an obstinate teenager sighing about the world. Leo. My killer's name. Not old age. Not cancer. Leo. Leo, hey. Well, Leo, looks like we're in this together. I'm not going anywhere, and you don't seem to be either. Look, I'm sorry for the way I spoke to you earlier. Damn, that's some left hook you got there. Every man loves his ego to be fed, no matter the circumstances. Leo shrugged. I was state boxing champion when I was 15, he huffed nonchalantly. We used live cows as punch bags. Oh yeah, this guy had it all. Maybe I should set my cousin Kelly up on a date with him. Chapter 24. September 3, 2014. 14 hours and 5 minutes to go. The toilets at Chez Cabernet were a dramatic marble composition, fusing stately grandeur with modern convenience. The taps were gold. The sinks were porcelain. There were charging points for your mobile phone. The greatest extravagance was an egg pod chair with gold trim, suspended from the ceiling. In the center of the glittering chamber. I'd only come in here for a brief escape, but figured I'd have a sit down at least. I slipped off my shoes, curled up my legs, and cocooned myself into the padded shell. It was lush. 2 refined ladies were across the room, taking a selfie in front of the mirror. I twisted the egg pod so that I wouldn't be in their photo, then pulled out my own mobile and began typing. Across from City Hall. He's looking desperate. We'll keep you posted. I hit send, and clambered back out of the pod. Back out to reality. I washed my hands out of habit, using soap described as a blend of passion fruit and tropical leaves from the Philippines. It smelled amazing. I thought if they added a splash of vodka and a dash of champagne, then it would sit perfectly on the restaurant's drinks menu. I moved to dry my hands, half expecting to see a host of angels blowing gently through a golden flute. Shame, there were just individual, fluffy white towels that you then placed into a wicker basket. Their laundry bills must have been terrifying. The green activists of the world would not have been impressed. My phone buzzed as I reached the door. Got it. Here if you need us. Rumors are he's a big player. I didn't need rumors to tell me that. I'd seen it in those dark eyes. Chapter 25. September 3, 2014. 14 hours and 4 minutes to go. I sashayed back to our table, allowing the bounce in my chest as I neared the striking Russian. His hair was closely cropped at the back, and a thick scar ran down from his hairline, disappearing beneath the collar of his shirt. I love scars. They always have a story attached to them. As I passed him he looked up, but I stayed strong and kept moving. I'd done my flirting. Time to play the tease. My cheeks felt eyes upon them. Can ass cheeks flush? As I sat back down at our table, I was aware that the drinks had arrived. In my few minutes of absence, Marcus had almost consumed half a bottle of wine. That was quick, he said. Did you forget to wash your hands? Guffaw, guffaw. This man had zero boundaries when it came to impressing a lady. I cringed. A tiny part of me released itself, curled up tightly, and rolled away to a dark corner to wither and die. I missed that little piece. Deep breath, Holly. I sucked it up. You should go check out the toilets, I recommended cheerily. They are a maze. Sure, babe. Will do. Still got plenty of room though, before I need to drain the old boy. Bladder of a horse, know what I'm saying. Marcus tipped back the rest of his wine, checked the bottle in the cooler, and poured himself out another 6 fingers. You know €1, he exclaimed, like he was letting me into a secret. €1 a fine wine should be. Like a fine woman. Marcus twirled his glass. I closed my eyes. Supple, fragrant €1 and full-bodied. Sheesh, buddy, put a cork in it. Chapter 26. September 3, 2014. 14 hours and 3 minutes to go. The alcohol was making Marcus increasingly lecherous. My cocktail remained untouched. Oh God, we hadn't even ordered our food yet. Usually, I enjoy taking time looking at the menu, letting my mind wander across the ingredients, allowing my stomach and taste buds to have a conflab about what they are in the mood for. Tonight though, I just grabbed the menu, skim-read, and chose at random. The waitress appeared, expecting to be asked for the usual 5 minutes. Are Monsieur et Madame ready to order? I was impressed. Her fake French accent was pretty good. Oui, bonjour, I began. Pousse je commander fricassé copyright et de champignons, Suivi par Kofi. Bialdi, s'il vous plaît registered trademark T. Hiding her surprise, the waitress bowed slightly in acknowledgement, then turned to Marcus. Slightly, glazed eyes Marcus, who'd been staring at the waitress's name badge, or somewhere in that vicinity, at least. Sure babe, I'll have the same. The waitress glanced at me, unsure which of us was the referred to babe, then gathered up our menus and glided serenely away. You speak French très bon, Marcus declared. Have you ever been? I hear it is the country of love and passion. Oh, here came the charm offensive again. Marcus was charming, like a wet cheese. I tried to be nice. I've been a couple of times with work, it's a beautiful part of the world. There was the hand again, this time a little bit higher on my leg. His eyes had the look of a man with money, used to getting what he wanted. I can just picture you euro in a tight little French maid's outfit. Watch it with the hand pal, I warned, bending his fingers back just enough to make them sore. Or you'll be wandering around with it strapped up in your coat like Napoleon. Chapter 27. October 3, 2014. 34 minutes to go. And he was 4 kilos heavier than me, but I still defeated him in round 3, ha. Seems I couldn't shut him up now. I continued to suck it up, keeping him interested. Did you have any brothers growing up to box with? We have many brothers, Leo responded, looked upwards again. I shall see them again soon. Your brothers are already dead? I questioned, with as much concern as I could muster. He looked at me curiously, checked himself, and then changed the subject. Why do you have your hair like that? He was indicating towards my shock red hair. I shrugged. It annoys my mum, I answered flippantly. It makes you stand out. I knew this. You should cover it up, he advised. I did, when necessary. I like it, I replied, the atmosphere thick with tension. It's just a choice. Everybody can make a choice, can't they? Leo shook his head but didn't continue. You're making a choice today, aren't you? It is your choice, isn't it? I asked calmly. He stared at me blankly. I was pushing him away. But in these circumstances, a hostage fighting for their life just can't help it. Just like you could choose not to euro, I continued, blindly. Euro or just to walk away. Choose to live your life. Choose to be a boxer or have a family or eat ice cream every day for the rest of your life. Leo's face was going dark again. His mission for self-destruction was unbending. His faith was unwavering. We aren't friends, he mocked. This is happening. You will suffer. Your country will suffer. This is just the beginning. The shockwaves will drive your nation to its knees. I fell silent again, his words washing over me. This may have been Leo euro trademark S beginning euro, but it was increasingly looking like my end. Chapter 28. September 3, 2014. 12 hours and 52 minutes to go. I closed my eyes. It was nearly over. I had bravely endured it. Endured the haze of awful conversation, rapidly eaten food, and tactfully spurned advances. Well done me. I had been the bigger woman, figuratively speaking, of course. Marcus was too shallow to have enjoyed himself had I been talking physically. I glanced clandestinely at my Russian interest. My heart rate quickened in excitement. He was still there. Still serious. Still equally interested in both my cleavage and City Hall beyond me. He'd yet to even find out about my winning personality. Damn, he was beautiful. I couldn't stop thinking about him, and his intriguing neck scar. Marcus hadn't noticed my treachery. He was 2 bottles of wine deep and capsizing. As he stood to leave, his hips leant one way, his shoulders the other, his tilting head trying desperately to steady the ship. Did you have a coat checked in, madam? I was asked by the maitre de Euro trademark. No, thank you. My compliments to the chef, please. The maitre de Euro trademark bowed dramatically, pointing us towards a flamboyant tray of mints. I was still full from the delicious vegetarian food, but I took one anyway. Hey, what's more exciting than free food? As the maitre d' guided us gently towards the exit, City Hall dazzling outside before us, I felt the tentacles begin their final and most probing assault. Marcus had placed his hand on the small of my back, then my ass, then somewhere that was definitely no longer my ass. Pow! Crash! Like he'd tripped on an invisible thread, Marcus was suddenly down, flat on his face, arms clumsily out in front of him. And then I saw it, the ornate tray of mints, spilling out across the floor, emerging from its hiding place within Marcu's Euro trademark jacket pocket. Chapter 29. September 3, 2014. 12 hours and 51 minutes to go. Arg! You stupid bitch! Marcus screamed. Okay, looked like the flirting was over. My arms, Marcus moaned. You've broken both my arms. He was flapping around like a squid on roller skates. Ambulance! Help! Stretcher! Clearly pain wasn't one of his strong points. Defibrillator! Is there a defibrillator? I think I'm crashing. At least, that's what I think he was saying. Amongst the tears and the howls and the slurring, it was hard to tell. For all I knew, he was asking for a refrigerator for his grandma. All eyes in the restaurant, including the two blazing Russian ones, were now focused solely upon us. Nobody was moving to help though, except the maitre d', while Euro trademark D begun furiously sweeping up the mints, clutching the antique tray to his chest like it had a heartbeat. I crouched down and had a quick feel of Marcus' wrists. They were sprained, at best. His arms would probably be out of action for a couple of weeks. For his sake, I hoped he had a bidet in that fancy apartment of his. Why are you smiling? He screamed. Oops. Clearly that thought had reached my lips, haha. People are getting sued for this. My lawyer is speed dial 1. I'm godfather to his children. How are my squash team going to cope without me? I groaned and reached for my phone. What service please? Ambulance, I sighed. Hold please. I gave Marcus a big thumbs up. Missed opportunity, I should have gone for a high five. What's the address please? Chez Cabernet, opposite City Hall, I replied. And what's the situation please? I glanced down at Marcus. We've had a faller. Arm injuries have been sustained. No blood loss. And then, because I could. Maybe bring the stomach pumper. Chapter 30. October 3, 2014. 31 minutes to go. Leo had his back to me, flicking through my phone. I'd switched it to airplane mode earlier. I guessed it wouldn't be ringing with a concerned savior anytime soon. I knew that the only accessible part of my phone was the photos folder. I also knew that there were only photos of me on there. Me, in a variety of sexy, inadequately clothed poses. He kept his back to me. I presumed he'd found them. I presumed he was enjoying himself. Who took these? He asked, trying to hide his breathlessness. Nobody special, I answered. Was it that pig? Is that what this is about? I asked, knowing that it wasn't, but wanting to keep him talking. Is that why you want to kill me? Euro trademark jealous of Marcus. Leo snorted, but kept his back to me. Don't, how you say. Flatter yourself. There's enough explosives here to blow the Whole building. I stayed silent, hoping for more. Eat a Euro trademark S not about you, or him. Eat a Euro trademark S about your nation. You're all the same. Dirty, drunk. Whoring pigs. His neck scar was flaring in the shadows, like an expression of anger. You are just collateral damage, he continued. I had to take you. You'd recognized me. I wasn't expecting to see you again. I wanted to do this alone. Do you ever laugh in the most inappropriate situations? I couldn't help it, it needed saying. Then just let me go, haha. He turned to face me, his eyes alighting on the digital countdown. 30 minutes and 6 seconds. Pointing again to the ceiling, he began to murmur those foreign words. Degree n superscript 3 3/4 plus or minus n euro degree n. 3/4 1/2 degree 3/4 1/4 no superscript 2 1/4 plus or minus n 3/4 superscript 2 degree 1/2 1/2. What I guess he didn't know, is that I'd previously learned to speak Russian. As you do. You know, during the odd spare hour. Switch it on, brother. Meet in the Promised Land. Chapter 31. October 3, 2014. 30 minutes to go. 30 minutes left on the clock. 1800 seconds. Things were getting serious. The sand in the hourglass was running out. Death rushed on. Okay, so no time left to play Scrabble. But maybe naked snakes and ladders was on the cards? Still no takers? Come on you guys. Leo looked calm and cold again. And beautiful still, just as he had been in the restaurant. Last night. How did you get that scar? I asked gently. His left hand stretched back and traced the old wound down and below his collar. I have been a fighter for my people for many years. Often, these are private wars. Personal wars. And yet your ignorant countries decide to get involved. To come to our lands. To supply the enemy with weapons. To bring your machines and expect us to roll over. His eyes were ablaze with the imagery of battle. My body is young, but my heart is old. I have witnessed many things. I thought upon the horrors of war. Often, the soldiers in the field are against each other in combat, but essentially fighting for the same motive. Dmitri was small, but strong. Like an angry dog. We grew up in our village together. He was my best friend. My best brother. He fought for me. I for him. When the soldiers came for recruits, we signed up straight away. Dmitri was excited. Finally we could join in the battle to crush our enemies. They promised us great things. But we were young. We didn't know terror. We didn't know that your people would get involved. We didn't know what a man could do to another man. Chapter 32. October 3, 2014. 29 minutes to go. Leo was lost in his memories. I stayed quiet. We'd been in for maybe a year. We had killed many enemies. We had protected our families. We were already heroes. But then your tanks came. They were not welcome, but they came all the same. They crushed our villages. They crushed our mothers. They crushed our children. They slaughtered us and made friends with the scum. All for the price of an oil barrel. I closed my eyes. Propaganda is a great tool in war, on all sides. It can make a person truly believe they are justified. It can make them fight and seethe and hate and murder. Sometimes. It was even based on a truth, albeit twisted. Leo was looking at me with hatred. Pure, unfiltered loathing. Guilty by association. They were so safe, in their big metal machines. Launching their missiles from afar. Watching us burn. Whether we were involved or not. But Dmitri had a plan. A plan to lure them out. A plan to get them out of their cowards. Hole and fight in the open. Man to man. I decided against pointing out the current similarities. About how he viewed the soldiers in the tank, and his hidden position in the here and now. It just didn't feel like the right time, you know? Dmitri was smart. He was always thinking. That's what he was good at. We had knives. We had guns, we had grenades. But we knew they were useless against the solid skin of the tank. Against the outside of it, anyway. But Dmitri knew a way. He'd studied the patterns. He'd watched their movements. He was the smartest of us all. Leo looked at me and there was love in his eyes. Dmitri, he burned those soldiers out. Chapter 33. October 3, 2014. 28 minutes to go. As gruesome as it sounds, when it's you or them, people will do anything to survive. If you mark them the enemy, then their actions seem appalling. If you consider them your ally, then it is deemed heroic. I shuddered nonetheless. Burning. Dmitri watched the tanks. He knew how they drove. He followed their tracks. He knew when they stopped. Leo smiled sadly, and I saw the small boy. You know, he reflected. I think Dmitri could have driven one, given the chance. Early one morning, Dmitri thrust a rifle in my hands, and positioned me behind a tree near a village we had reached. He said this day would be marked in history. That we would be heroes. He was so small, but so commanding. He smiled at me for a final time, then raced off to his position. The room was blurring. Children and war filling the spaces. Dmitri had noted that whenever the tanks first rolled up to a village, they always stopped. At the edge too. Leo looked at me for the word. Reconnaissance. I nodded. So the captain would lift the lid of the beast to briefly survey the land. Then sink back into his impenetrable shield. Dmitri had climbed a tree on the outskirts of this village. One where the branches looped over the road. He was tucked right up against the trunk that even I couldn't see him. And that tank stopped. Stopped right underneath Dmitri. Right where he knew it would. Dmitri dropped silently onto the roof of the tank, his blade between his teeth. When the captain raised the cover, Dmitri stuck him in the eye with his knife from behind and dropped a grenade into the monster. I waited for it to explode. I waited for the soldiers to appear out the top like fiery jumping beans. Chapter 34. October 3, 2014. 27 minutes to go. I was ready with my gun. Dmitri had told me there would be 4 soldiers inside the tank. I knew that one of them was already dead. A fat pig with a dagger in his eye, ready to roast. Inside his cauldron. I counted to 3 and then hugged the tree, as the explosion rocked the tank and the earth. And my teeth. Dmitri had dropped to the ground, the blast knocking him off his feet. The screaming began. The pigs began to appear. Arms missing. Legs missing. Faces missing. I waited, clutching my gun. There was one. His face charred. His clothes on fire. He dropped to the ground right near Dmitri, as a second one emerged. Dmitri had told me to wait until they were all out, but I began running. Running and shooting wildly. The first soldier was raging. The second one fell uselessly beside him, his one leg unable to support him. His soul was close to death. I reached Dmitri and began dragging him from the flaming metal and the big angry men. The blistered soldier pulled his jacket off and moved for his gun. Through the flames and the tears, I mowed him down with bullets. He dropped dead at the feet of his squealing pig friend. I picked Dmitri up on my back and began running. The buildings would provide us with cover. But the gunner was still in the tank. and he began firing his machine gun towards us. Dimitri's body jumped on my back as the bullets pierced him. One sliced up my back and through my hair. As the tank exploded one final time, I didn't feel the pain. Only my heart, for Dimitri had been torn apart. Dimitri was my best friend. He gave us his life at 16 years old. Chapter 35. April 8, 1993. 180,551:53:00 to go. Kelly did a massive skid on her bike. I put my feet on the ground to stop mine. I'm only 4 though. Kelly says she's 12 years older than me. I wish I was that big. Holly, see over there. Kelly pointed at a barn in a field. That's Mr. Gamble's storage unit. Uncle Peter says we're not to go near it though. A butterfly went past my face and I giggled. Dunno why though. Kelly said. Why do adults say stuff like that? I mean, it's just a dressed up wooden shed. What's he got in there, a tank? If I was a dog, I wonder where I'd keep all my money? Michael reckons it's where they take all the naughty children, Holly. To be kept as slaves. And dig all day for buried treasure, a. I really want some pizza. I hope it's pizza night. Holly, a. Holly. Are you even listening to me, Holly? Why aren't you in there then, Kelly? Ha. So you were listening. You're such a secret earwig. Kelly tickled me on the armpit. Shall we go over there then? Just for a look. Can you carry me, Kelly? My legs were a bit achy. No. It's only over there. You're too heavy anyway. My forearms couldn't take it. Squid, squid, where you hid? You know, I thinked out loud. I'd like to have 4 arms. I'd swap my legs for 2 arms. So then I'd have 4. That would be really great. Just like an octopus. An octopus has 8 arms, Holly. Kelly got on her bike and waited for me. I put my feet on the pedals and thought about that. Not when it's standing up, it doesn't. Chapter 36. October 3, 2014. 25 minutes to go. Leo had his head in the crook of his arm, still mourning little Dimitri. A child, who had given up his life for the glory of war. Did any of the soldiers survive? I asked into the stillness, now deeply involved in the story. Leo gritted his teeth and shook his head strongly. No, they all burned. Dimitri had killed them all. When our soldiers found us, they carried Dimitri away and buried him with a medal. A section of the tank was used to mark the spot. I was promoted through the ranks for bravery. And sent to school to learn English and the techniques of a spy. And then I was sent here. To wait. To wait until I was called upon to. Leo froze, as did I. We'd both heard it, a whistling beyond the door on the stairs. Suddenly Leo was on me, wedging a sock deep into my mouth. I snorted through my nose. With wild eyes, as he clambered behind me and tied a rag at the back of my head. Deciding I was suitably helpless, Leo slunk across the room to the door, withdrawing his gun and attaching a silencer to the end of it. I wanted to scream a warning. I wanted to jump up and grab the gun from Leo. I wanted to save the whistling man's life. But I knew I couldn't. The door opened, the man appeared casually in the room, and Leo in the shadows raised his gun. There was a small noise as the bullet entered the man's head, and in seconds he had fallen to the ground, the blood yet to leave his body. I cried because I should have saved him. I cried because I couldn't. I cried for all the other lives at stake. Chapter 37. April 8, 1993. 180,551:50:00 to go. The barn was big. Bigger than our house. Bigger than the shops. Bigger than Big Benny at school. Kelly put her bike against the fence. I put mine there too. Okay, Holly, we need to be really quiet. Kelly was peeking round like a scaredy monkey. She looked like a fish without a sausage. Kelly, you know what a sausage is with eyes. Holly. Shhhhh. A duck, ha ha ha. Holly. Kelly put her hand on my mouth. If Mr. Gamble catches us, we'll be in big trouble. Please be quiet. Please. I blinked and smiled at the same time. I was confused. I thought we were adventuring. Kelly got my hand. Come on, we'll be quick, I promise. It'll be a game. If we can get all the way to that door silently, then we win the game. Okay? Got it. I nodded. I liked winning. The door on the barn was all lit up. We walked towards it. My tummy tickled. Kelly suddenly jumped. What was that noise? Kelly was whispering. So I whispered back. I don't know. Sounded like an aeroplane. Why are you shaking, Kelly? Kelly didn't say anything. My hand was sore where she was squeezing it. Kelly, your hands are a bit wet. I don't like this. This was a bad idea. Come on, Holly. Uncle Peter was right. Let's go back home. I don't want to see what made that noise anyway. Come on, quick. The door was right there. It seemed silly to have a door and then not use it. Otherwise it was a window. Kelly's hand wasn't there anymore. I peeked inside the barn. He didn't see me. The man. The man who was crying. The man with the gun. Chapter 38. April 8, 1993. 180,551:49:00 to go. The horse in the barn didn't move. I didn't move. My legs had stopped working. The crying man moved though. He moved his arm with the gun towards the horse. I wondered what game it was. The horse laughed and shook its head. It was playing sit down on the floor. I liked its tail. And its brown splotches. Sorry, old girl. No more pain now. Bang. I grabbed my ears 'cause I thought they'd fell off. Had the horse's head fell off too? No, I think. It had just dropped over. Dead. Holly. Kelly was screaming at me. Trying to pick me up. Trying to pull me out of the barn. I just looked at the horse, who looked back at me. Dead. Hey. What are you kids doing in here? This is private property. Get out of my barn. The crying man was walking at us. Kelly was hurting my arm. The horse was still quiet. Holly. Please, we've got to go. Kelly was crying as well. I didn't know this game. The horse wasn't crying and I wasn't crying. I didn't know how to. I wasn't sad. I let Kelly take me. We ran through the field and it was exciting. We left the dead horse to herself. Herself and the crying man. The man who killed her in the game. I still don't know the game though. Maybe one day I will. Maybe when I a Euro trademark am bigger. Maybe I don't want to be bigger yet though. Chapter 39. October 3, 2014. 22 minutes to go. Bet you've never seen a gun go off before, Leo mocked, like I'd missed out on some great life experience. He didn't know, of course. Didn't know he was wrong. The man was propped up on the wall opposite me, very dead. Leo had dragged him across the floor, now slick with the man's blood, throwing him lifelessly against the bricks the way you'd treat an old mattress. The Mono-Euro trademark's motionless eyes had no mark of shock. He hadn't seen it coming. His name badge said William. William the janitor. William had ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time. I wondered if, given the option, I would have preferred that unseen bullet. The alternative I still faced was to be blown to pieces and buried amongst the rubble of a demolished building. Choices, choices. Euro trademark D been presuming that some planning had gone into Leo's suicidal, murderous mission. He hadn't expected William though. Cracks were beginning to appear. First me. Then William Euro. I hoped for the seams to split. Further. The buzz of the kill was still ringing in Leo's ears. William is just another casualty of our eternal war Euro, he declared. Euro, as you will be. As a lot of people will be. Today is to be momentous. Today, the world will know. I don't think that William and I will be making global news, I mumbled. Leo looked like he wanted to say something, but held his tongue. Switch it on, brother. Meet in the promised land. Leo's words from earlier haunted me. 3 times he had uttered them. 3 lots of questions. 3 lots of guesses. 3 lots of fears. I looked again at the dead man in front of me. The horse with brown splotches and the others were keeping William company now. Chapter 40. April 8, 1993. 180,551:16:00 to go. Has everyone been abducted, Kelly? I think you mean abducted, Holly. Kelly was walking with her bike next to me. The town was totally quiet. I wanted to say dead. Europe. Abducted. Where is everyone, Euro? Euroite is weird. Feels like we Euro trademark VE been gone for about a year Euro. Kelly looked at her watch. I liked it cause it had Mickey Mouse on it. Euro, now remember, Holly. When we get to yours, we don't Euro trademark T talk about the barn, okay? Eat a Euro trademark S. Gonna be our little secret. We Euro trademark re gonna forget all about it Euro. I nodded as we got to our driveway. The mailbox looked like a horse Euro trademark S head. Euro, hey, Aunt Madge. Hey, Uncle Peter Euro, Kelly shouted, waving at Mum and Dad. Or who she thinked was Mum and Dad, anyway. Euro, hey kids. What have you been up to, Euro? Dad was leaning on his spade. He was digging in the front garden. Maybe for worms. Euro, you know, just out on our bikes. Hey, Holly can nearly pull a skid now, Euro. Euro, can you, Holly? Euro, Dad asked, sounding pleased. Euro, excellent work. Soon you Euro trademark LL be riding. No hands and doing wheelies, Euro. It was amazing. Kelly didn't Euro trademark T seem to notice. They must be hidden to her. They must be tricking her. She must be under their spell. We must have been gone a long time. They must have missed us. Maybe they were scared of Mr. Gamble and his gun. I looked at my mum and dad Euro and just saw 2 enormous green heads. Green heads, with dribbly mouths and scary tentacles. I was pretty sure my new friend, the horse, saw them too. Chapter 41. October 3, 2014. 20 minutes to go. I tore my eyes away from William's lifeless body. But where my eyes went, my mind would not follow. Does he have a family? Does he have a wife? Does he have the unthinkable? Was it my fault he died? Do you have children, Leo? I had to try and find some kind of weakness. An angle. Do you? Leo replied. Hey. I'm asking the questions, buddy. Oh wait, you have the gun. I had a brother, but he died from meningitis when I was younger, I answered. I didn't like talking about Sam. Especially with this radical assassin. If it had been different Leo asked. Or if somebody had murdered him. What would you have done? I stayed silent. But I knew. Would you have shrugged your shoulders? Would you have accepted that it was life and moved on? Or would you have looked for revenge? Would you have wanted justice, Holly? Holloway. Blowing up a building full of innocent people isn't justice, Leo. ETA Euro trademark S just an excuse to induce terror. You're wrong. It sends out a message that our country is not for occupying. That retribution has many hands. Many faces that are willing to die for the cause. At any cost. You can't fight that. A Eurorite never works, Leo. Look at the Twin Towers in 2001. The world came together. It mourned. It rebuilt. It became stronger. It wiped Bin Laden from the face of the earth. Ha! And how many heads have regrown in his place? The world needs to know that our business is our business. You take one of ours, we take 50 of yours. You crush my home, I destroy your city. You devastate our village. Leo paused, menace thick in the air. We tear down your world. Chapter 42. 29.05.1996. 155,851:19:00 to go. My tongue was poking out the corner of my mouth in concentration. I had a right frown on. I'd never been in this room before. I'd never gotten this far. The room was dark. Probably a cave. Symbols marked on the wall. My cousin Kelly was with me. Hovering next to me. So was her boyfriend. I didn't like him. Kelly says he's cool because he's got tattoos and a motorbike. But I don't like him. I don't like the way he looks at me. Shane. That's his name. He tried to give me beer the other day at Kelly's house. Kelly was in the shower. Shane offered me a drink from his bottle. I didn't like his eyes. No, Shane. I'm only 7. Kelly seemed happy, so I didn't tell her. But I didn't look in Shane's eyes again. Kelly had wanted to come here with me today. She wouldn't take no for an answer. And, of course, Shane had come too. There were 4 large coins on the floor of the cave. I picked them up. Now what? Go on, you can make that, Kelly said, pointing at the hole in front of me. Just take a running jump at it. I wasn't sure. Maybe I needed to be bigger. Maybe I was too little. Maybe I wouldn't make it. Go on, Kelly pushed again. You've come this far. You might as well try. I nodded and took a few steps back. Holly. Mum's voice was soft. I looked up. There were tears in her eyes. Holly, a euro, she said. A euro at a euro trademark S time. I looked back down as Super Mario fell into the hole. He'd not made it. He was too small. Holly, Sam is waiting for you. It's time to say goodbye. Chapter 43. 29.05.1996. 155,851:18:00 to go. I put the Game Boy down and stood up. Mum and Dad were hugging, tears running down their faces. Everybody seemed to be looking at me. Quite a lot. Like they were waiting for me to cry. Too. I didn't know what to do. Kelly slipped her hand into mine and together we began walking down the hospital corridor towards Sam's room. Kelly, your hands are a bit wet. Kelly just smiled sadly at me. The corridor walls had been painted to look like a zoo. Lots of trees and animals with jolly faces. It didn't look much like the zoo I'd been to, where the animals were in cages asleep. I wondered where this zoo was. Each room we passed had a different child in it. Their names were on the doors. Sarah. Philip. Ava. Brad. I knew what it all meant, of course. These children were sick. These children were poorly. These children were dying. I didn't know why though. Why them? Why not me? Some of the children had drawn their own pictures. Stuck them on their doors. Pictures. With crayons and pencils and glitter. Sarah had drawn a rainbow. Ava had drawn a butterfly. Brad had drawn a happy house. Kelly's heels clicked along the hallway. Everywhere was so quiet. Everywhere there was silence. Like somebody had died. Sam's room was at the end. It was a special room. Full of machines and pumps and worry. Things. Sam had been too small to draw a picture. Too weak. Too ill. So I'd drawn one for him. As we reached Sam's door, there it was, looking back at us. I'd used a brown crayon for the splotches. Kelly opened Sam's door. The horse in the picture smiled at me. I smiled back. Chapter 44. October 3, 2014. 17 minutes to go. I unclenched and glanced between my feet. We'd been together in this room now for over 40 minutes. I must remember to apologize to Marcus. This blind date was definitely worse. That was, if I ever saw Marcus again. And that if was getting bigger every moment and floating ever out of grasp. I caught Leo lustily looking at my phone again. You're very handsome, Leo, you know. Well, you were in the restaurant last night. Things had kind of soured since. Do you have a girlfriend? Back home, maybe, Leo shrugged. But since I've been here, no way. I would never lay down with one of you whores. How long have you been here? I asked. A while, Leo said noncommittally. While the war was still going on, I was learning things. Learning how to integrate. Learning English. Learning new skills. Won't all that be a waste? A waste? Ha! It was all for this. This will define my life. I am a weapon to be aimed and fired. I wondered who was crazier. The brainwashed. Or the worms whispering in their ears. Leading them on such a destructive path. Has it been so terrible here? I asked. Have you really lived among us and seen us all to be monsters? Have we hurt you or wronged you or offended you? No, he shouted quickly. You send your soldiers out to do that. While you hide in your pretty homes with fancy cars and swimming pools, and pretend you don't know what's going on. Just for the record, I don't have a swimming pool. Leo pulled a packet of chewing gum from his trouser pocket. Gum? He asked offhandedly, the mad mask briefly slipping. I shook my head. I had my own principles. Leo shrugged his shoulders. Your funeral. Chapter 45. 13.06.1996. 155,494:16:00 to go. I pulled at the neck of the dress that Mum had forced me into this morning. Black just wasn't my color. I don't think black is anyone's color really. But everyone was wearing it. We all looked like crows against the blue sky. I wondered if Sam was wearing black. I hoped he was okay. I hoped he was comfortable. Kelly shuffled her feet next to me. She looked beautiful, even in black. Even with her makeup growing bigger underneath her pretty eyes. Shane wasn't with Kelly. I'd not seen him for 2 weeks. Kelly had been with me the whole time. Always holding my hand. Fiercely. Like somebody might steal me. Mum glanced at me. I could see the worry in her eyes. I couldn't help it. The tears wouldn't come out. Even if I pinched myself really hard. The doctor said I was in shock. That I shouldn't be worried. That the sadness could tumble down on me at any time. That I must let it. I waited. They didn't know, of course. They didn't know how my heart felt. It felt like it was splitting. Like a piece of it was ripping off. Like that piece belonged to Sam and wanted to curl up in that box with him. I just couldn't show it. I just couldn't say it. I watched a dark crow drift down in the sky onto the branch of a tree. His eyes were looking at me. He looked beautiful in black too. The crow twisted his head and winked at me. I winked back. Then they lowered Sam into the ground. Chapter 46. October 3, 2014. 15 minutes to go. I looked down at my clothes. Leo had cut me with his earlier punch, and the red of the blood had splashed down and absorbed into the black of my top. That day. That color. That crow. That feeling. That touch of blackness. That day. That color. It was like a light going on. Or perhaps off. Black began to creep into my wardrobe after that. Creeping into my heart. Creeping into my mind. Sam became my rock. My anchor. He hadn't cried, you know. Through all the pain. All the mental anguish. The stress. The strain. The confusing loss of limb. No tears. I remembered my father's words. At the funeral. After Sam was in the ground. Dad had written a speech. Had it on a piece of paper. But when it came to it, his throat closed, his emotions took over. Through the grief, all he could cry was. He was the best, just the best. Dad didn't know. Mum didn't know. But those words lived with me, every day. They were a part of me, tattooed on my side, underneath my right arm. An homage to the brother I briefly knew. Better words than I could ever muster. I looked again at Leo. He talked of brothers. He talked of that bond. He talked of justice. Did Sam deserve justice? Maybe he was getting it somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe that's just life. Ultimately, we all have it taken. I allowed my memories to leak in a little bit more. They made me happy. They made me angry. They made me roll up the pain in my head and my arms and my heart. Roll it up, put it in a box, and bury it in the ground. He was the best, just the best. Chapter 47. October 3, 2014. 2 hours and 14 minutes to go. I was close to work now. My phone was plugged directly into the car. Voice activated. German engineering. Go gadget fist bump. Anyways. It was buzzing. ET soundtrack ringtone. Ah, I love that little alien guy. I indicated to turn left. It was probably gonna be my dad already. He always liked to check in on me. I viewed the dashboard caller display. Answer call. Hey, pork chops. Do you have to call me that? Comedy just comes natural, I guess, I quipped. Maybe I'll take out an ad for all your catchphrases, slogans, and nicknames. Call Holly Hijinks Holloway. I genuinely thought I heard him roll his eyes. You know the threat level on TV, he began, ignoring my wittiness. It just went martial law. Major intel that something could be going down today. Got it, I said, checking the time. I'm literally 2 minutes from work. I'll speak to you in a bit. Sure. See ya, Red Sonja. Heh. Good one, pork chops. You just keep working that material, old man. I ended the call via a button on the steering wheel. Smug face. Felt like I kinda won that one. I shifted gears. The car park was just up ahead. The guard would be sitting in his box ready to check my ID. The valet on hand to take my keys. The cafeteria baking me up a fat breakfast donut. Maybe 9 to 5 life wasn't all that bad? I saw the wheel first. I glanced quickly again in the mirror. Yup. The wheel was just free rolling. All by itself. And what is a car without a wheel? Out of control, that's what. And headed straight for me. Chapter 48. October 3, 2014. 2 hours and 13 minutes to go. The car behind me with the missing wheel was lurching on its empty edge. Sparks were flying where metal met tarmac. I judged its speed to be much faster than my own, and it didn't look like it was slowing either. Something was badly wrong here. I slammed down on the clutch. My brain was acting rapidly. Judging the angles. Reviewing the options. Deciding how to bail to safety. The car thumped into the back of me as I braced myself. Bailing to safety hadn't been an option. The cars screeched violently against each other. Up ahead, the guard was sitting in his box, oblivious. The valet was on his chair outside. And the out-of-control car was headed straight for them. I was slamming hard on the brakes. The guard had heard the screeching now. But it was too late for him to move. To get out. He wasn't going to make it. Bam! I smashed the gearbox into second gear, sped forwards to create space between me and the car behind, then span the steering wheel, pulled hard on the handbrake, and fishtailed the car around 180. The nose of my car clipped the grille of the car behind, just enough to divert it towards the tree line. I was sweating hard now, holding on, skidding towards the whites of the guard's eyes. The three-wheeled car crashed into a tree and stopped, as my own car smoked to a standstill of squealing rubber, the frozen valet shaking next to my window. I pulled out the keys, chucked them to him with a wink, and ran across to the crunched car. Boom, that's how I roll. I wasn't planning on anyone dying today. Chapter 49. October 3, 2014. 2 hours and 12 minutes to go. The car that had collided with the tree wasn't far from me. One male and one female were exiting the vehicle, and from their current heated argument, I guessed that they were probably uninjured. I told you to check the tire pressures, the man shouted. Oh, sure. I'll just do that, in between ironing all your underpants. The man spluttered histrionically at this. I don't want my underpants ironed. Well, I don't know what you do and don't want. I want you to check the tire pressures before long journeys. Well, iron your own bloody underpants then. Okay. I decided to exit stage right. No thanks necessary. I'll call you. I made my way back instead towards the guard box. The guard had shakily emerged. I checked his name badge. Hi, Bob, I began breezily, showing him my ID card. We all okay here? I need to get into work urgently. Sure, Bob stammered, checking all his limbs were still there. Where did you learn to drive like that? Oh, what, that? I replied modestly. Too many nights playing Grand Theft Auto, I think. Well, thanks, Holly Holloway, Bob said, handing my ID back. Holly Holloway, I'm gonna remember that name. Ha, just call me Hot Rod. Am I okay to go through? Sure. I'll take you myself. Behind the guard box, Bob had a golf buggy. We hopped in, and Bob whizzed us over towards the back entrance for his staff. You are straight up hot property, Miss Holloway. If you don't mind me saying. Ha. Is it the hair? Eda Euro trademark S the hair, isn't it? Can you email my mum and tell her? Well, here you are, Hot Rod, Bob grinned at me, pulling up at the entrance without AJ. Turn in sight. You have a safe day. Thanks. See ya, Bob. I could still hear the noisy couple going at it. But my underpants don't need sorting by color. Chapter 50. October 3, 2014. 2 hours and 11 minutes to go. I opened the door into City Hall. I a Euro trademark am lucky with my job. Every day is different. Today I was on reception. With the threat level high, some people had been asked by management to stay at home. Some people had been asked to come in. Like I said, I a Euro trademark am lucky with my job. Holly a Euro hot potato Euro trademark Holloway. The main entrance was a huge marble affair. Chandeliers here, spiral staircases there. It was almost as grand as the toilets at Chez Cabernet. A Euro hey, Mike. What a Euro trademark s the haps, a Euro. A Euro hey, Holly. Slow night, you know, a Euro. The building was open 24 hours per day. No idea why. Maybe the mayor needed to do some late night budgeting. Knock a library down here. Build another coffee shop there. Tough work at the top. I a Euro trademark D known Mike for a few years now. He Euro trademark D trained me. He Euro trademark D equipped me. There was mucho respect. A Euro Lauren and the kids good, a Euro I asked casually. Just shooting the breeze. Keeping it strictly office chat. A Euro well, here a Euro trademark S1 for you a Euro Mike said. A Euro Isami was at a department store yesterday. Decided to shake hands with a mannequin, and pulled its hand right off. The shock on his face. I think he genuinely thought he'd ripped somebody's hand off. Heh heh a Euro. Ah, to be four again. I moved behind the huge granite desk to relieve him. A Euro well you get home to them. I a Euro trademark LL see you later a Euro. A Euro you better a Euro Mike replied, nodding to me. I smiled my receptionist smile, straightened my skirt, and began to arrange my pencils by order of most chewed. 9 to 5 Life. Chapter 51. October 3, 2014. 10 minutes to go. Leo completed his, now fifth, identical Russian monologue to the ceiling. Time kept on progressing relentlessly, the tick of the bomb unyielding. My spirit advanced ever closer to death. I had to keep my mind alive. I had to stay in the moment. Every minute of the hour may count. Every second of the 60 could prove vital. 60 is one of those funny words, when written down. If you stare at it for too long, suddenly the whole word looks wrong. Like it has to be spelt incorrectly. Like you've been making a mistake your whole life. The same with the word school. Really? Shouldn't it have a K in it? Science had been my favorite subject at school. Atoms and elements and protons. Tiny particles of matter that shape our whole world. 60. The atomic number for neodymium. One of the rare earth elements. 60 protons. 60 seconds. 60 minutes. Atomic. Nuclear. Explosive. I remembered my job training with Mike. Always stay patient. Always stay calm. Always stay strong. People will get angry. People will get in your face. People can be pacified. Leo? Sorry, we've been here a while now. Would it be okay to get a drink of water? Leo looked up from the shadows, his face contorted like I'd personally twisted his lemons. People will get angry. He rose from his haunches and moved towards me. People will get in your face. Sure thing, he said, a wicked grin creeping through his cheeks. People can be pacified. Leo spat straight in my face. Neodymium. ND. No dice. Chapter 52. October 3, 2014. 1 hour and 6 minutes to go. The reception area was beginning to fill up. Hello, my dear. Could you point me in the direction of the bulky waste department? Yes, sir, of course. Just one moment please, I replied. The man asking was an older gentleman, exquisitely dressed in a grey suit, with an ironed handkerchief in the top pocket. He had a stick for support, a monocle for studying, and a mustache for style. "You see, my dear," he said, leaning conspiratorially towards me. "Come on, computer, why are you so slow? I have a bed for collection." "Oh no, oh please no. My female companions and I seem to have quite worn it out." Blurg. What did Kelly say? Sharing is wearing. I really didn't want to know about this gentleman's sharing to wearing ratio. "Ah, here we are, sir. First floor, room 350. The lifts are located just over there, by that marble statue." "Oh, I think I'll use the stairs, my dear, I've been lying down all morning, you see," he said. With a wink. "You know something, in all my years, I've never been with a redhead." "Oh, Eda Euro trademark S just died," I blurted into the now empty space, because quick as a flash he had darted off, a spring in his step. I chuckled to myself, then felt my heart immediately flutter as I looked around and saw who'd just entered the building. I desperately hoped to see him again, since the restaurant, but didn't know if it was possible. He was still beautiful and still serious. Perhaps more so. His eyebrows vexing into a tight frown. Our eyes met across the room. It was all I could hope for. He paused, stared hard at the ground, then hauled his fine Russian ass in my direction. Chapter 53. October 3, 2014. 1 hour and 5 minutes to go. I slowed my breathing as he approached the desk. "Come on, Holly, don't embarrass yourself." I remembered who I was. Flirty. Sexy. Soviet surprise. He was wearing a light brown leather jacket, close fitting to his sinewy body. Dark jeans led down to dark shoes, and he carried a bag on his left shoulder. "Hello," he initiated, his accent beautiful and entrancing. "Hello," I replied. Casual. Flippant. Trying not to melt. "I'm here to check the fuse boards. I believe I'm scheduled in." Neither of us mentioned the elephant in the room. The metaphorical one, not the marble one in the corner. "Okay, let me just check for you, sir." I lowered my head and checked on the computer. There was indeed an inspection booked in, with a security firm named AAA Electricals. The bag on his shoulder carried the Compagnia Euro trademark S slogan, "A Euro, let's turn you on a Euro trademark." "You don't recognize me, do you?" he asked, a coy smile appearing across his mouth. I lifted my eyes to meet his. I went for sultry. Nostrils slightly flaring. "Oh, I do," I countered, dropping with the formalities. "I'm just surprised you remember me." He laughed. It was intoxicating. "How could I forget? You and your companion made quite an impact last night." I blushed, looking mortified. "Sorry, let me reword that," he reneged, his dark eyes lightening and his voice dropping deeper. He seemed an idiot, but everyone in that restaurant couldn't take their eyes off you in that dress. You are too good for him." "Ha, well I am now," I said honestly. "He's still in the hospital as far as I'm aware. I texted him earlier, but I'm not sure he's regained the ability to reply." The Russian paused, then stepped up the sexy a notch. "Would you like to show me where the fuse board is?" Chapter 54. October 3, 2014. 1 hour and 4 minutes to go. Wow, this guy didn't hang about. He seemed so genuinely relaxed. So at ease. So friendly and forthcoming. What was the harm? Susie was also working the desk with me. Nothing much was going on. "Sure, I can show you," I answered, his smile disarming me. Beneath the desk I secretly flipped my cell phone open. "Susie? Susie, I just need to show this gentleman around. I'm not sure how long we'll be. Are you okay to cover?" "Sure, no worries," said Susie, her appreciation of the Russian man quite obvious. You take as long as you need, Darl. I crouched down and checked my hair in the phone's front-facing camera. Pressing a few more buttons activated the special airplane mode setting. I didn't want it ringing and interrupting my surprise rendezvous. I moved calmly along the desk, the door that led to the basements of City Hall being located at the far end. I fished through the set of keys I had, then unlocked the door and pulled it open. No, please, after you, he insisted, his palm out and up and gentle. Susie smiled at him. I smiled at him. I moved forwards into the corridor that led to the stairway. The man followed. The lights were activated via a movement sensor, and switched on overhead with a buzz. Across their luminous strips. My heart was popping with excitement. The feel of him behind me was washing over my senses. The door behind us slammed closed, locking itself automatically from the outside. We were alone. So, I began, turning to face him. Is it just the fuse board you wanted to see? I trailed off. His face had turned. His expression had hardened. His palm was no longer gently empty. Chapter 55. October 3, 2014. 1 hour and 3 minutes to go. Wait. What is this? I cried out. The heavy door behind him rebounded my words, and they echoed harmlessly back down the corridor. He jabbed me in the stomach with the gun. Just turn around and start walking. His voice was aggressive and commanding. Gone was the soft romance from a couple of minutes ago. Tears filled my eyes as I shifted my shaking legs towards the steps. Steps that led down to the basement. To the fuse boards. To who knew what. He checked the watch on his wrist, then poked me again with the gun, this time in the kidneys. Its coldness pressed through my shirt. Are you going to kill me? I questioned, my body tense. Just keep moving. Try not to fall over like your pig boyfriend. Boyfriend? Now just didn't seem to be the time to point out that Marcus had only been a blind date. I negotiated the first step, my knees still weak. Eat a Euro trademark. Strange how your body reacts when a gun is pointed at you. In the movies, even the meekest of people immediately run or fight or hide. In reality though, you're too scared. You have no idea of the intentions of the person holding the gun. Presented with the hypothetical choice of wrestling for control of the gun, or just standing there and accepting the bullet, then of course, people will always claim the former. But the truth is, you just don't know. Your body panics, naturally presuming that the trigger won't be pulled. The God complex. I mean, why would somebody actually want to kill you? Perhaps he just wanted to take me to the basement, do whatever dastardly plan he had in store for the fuse board, and then leave me there alive to be rescued. Like a good, submissive hostage, I kept moving. Chapter 56. October 3, 2014. 1 hour and 2 minutes to go. At the end of the stairs was another corridor, the strip lighting again illuminating with our presence. To my right was a locked room. My captor waited until I was past the door, then produced a set of keys himself and opened it. Clearly I hadn't been required after all. Maybe he'd just let me go. Or maybe this was the end of the line. My tendons stiffened as he waggled the gun at me, but his trigger finger was loose, his pupils thick, his eyelids relaxed. I obeyed and moved inside. The light in the room was dim, but as my eyes grew accustomed to the darkness, I could see a chair in the corner, and little else other than dust. He indicated for me to move deeper into the room, locked the door behind us, then backed me up until I was in the far corner. The cold wall provided little comfort. With the gun still trained on me, he grabbed the chair and dragged it into the middle of the room. Empty your pockets, he demanded. Keys and my mobile phone. I placed them on the floor gently, like now was the time to worry that I might scratch the phone's screen. Sit here, he ordered, standing behind the chair. Fighting my instincts to collapse, I trudged over to him. Silent tears wound their way down my cheeks, dragging my thickly applied receptionist. Make up with them. I turned my back to him and sat down. His hard hands were on me instantly, blindfolding me with what felt like a dirty rag. And then I heard the slow sound of his bag's zip, and I prayed my bladder would withstand the terror. Chapter 57. October 3, 2014. 1 hour and 1 minute to go. Each click of the zip echoed in the quiet room. Put your arms behind the chair, he commanded, as I heard him remove the contents from the bag. I tried to keep my hands wide apart as I did what he asked, but he dragged them together, causing my chest to thrust forwards. And then the heavy straps began to wind themselves across and around my body. I smelled leather and pain and fear within them. This wasn't their first outing. He wasn't holding back. He wasn't taking chances. Maybe he thought that by day I was a receptionist, and by night a magician's assistant. The straps were so tight, they were biting. At the back, he then looped all the strap ends together, and with a click he connected them. All with a large padlock. I knew this, because its metal shell fell against my palm with a hard slap. I sensed him move in front of me to my feet. Should I kick him? And then what? The choice was taken from me. I heard the sound of tape being wound around my calves and the chair. Something was then placed against my ankles and the chair's legs. Round and round went the tape. I was pretty secure now. The chair and I were one. The chair and I, and whatever the other thing was. Metal and hard at my feet. The blindfold was removed and I blinked into the gloom of silhouettes. The Russian was checking his watch, a satisfied snarl influencing his features. I looked down. 1 hour and 6 seconds. As he leant in and flicked a switch, my wildest fears were answered. Tick, 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 tick. Leo made his way back towards the door. 1 hour and 1 second. An hour can be a long time. Chapter 58. October 3, 2014. 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go. Leo was silent. I was silent. William was silent. I continued to try and free my feet. The tape was tight, industrial, and super sticky. But there was a slim chance. A slim possibility that it was wiggling loose. Leo's eyes were suddenly drawn up and away from his knees. He'd been sitting down, tucked up. Head bowed, lost in thought. Just try it, he whispered darkly, waving the gun lazily in my direction. I want to watch. You suffer your final minutes. It's up to you whether you spend them with 2 bullets in your legs. I stopped with the feeble escape. Is it so easy for you? I asked, a slight scream transitioning through my speech. So easy? To throw your life away? And countless others. It is right for your country to experience pain, he answered, matter-of-factly. Euroito. Experience war. You sit here and send your troops out to destroy us. Well, now we are in your land. Your people. Your children. I let the stillness thump for a few heartbeats. City Hall didn't kill Dmitri. I breathed. In an instant Leo was on his feet. Don't say his name, he screamed. By 16 he was better than all of you. If he was here, we would be arm in arm, greeting death and glory together. This is the ultimate honor mission. We will all be rewarded and be together soon. I wanted to, but I didn't push it. Not yet, Holly. Not yet. 2 minutes and 10 seconds. I'd been so strong until now. There was still time. Still time to convince him. Wasn't there? Wasn't there? The doubt was creeping in. The fear, consuming. 2 minutes. It wasn't even long enough to boil an egg. Chapter 59. October 3, 2014. 2 minutes to go. Leo couldn't control his excitement now. He was almost dancing, his feet and legs buzzing with suicide and murder. All mindfully justified. All horrifyingly wrong. His crazed anticipation was sending me over the edge with him. 1 minute and 53 seconds. Leo. Please. Switch the bomb off, now. Leo's arms were raised, his index fingers pointing to the ceiling. Leo. I screamed. I was presented with wild eyes. Spittle was forming at his lips. Nostrils were flaming with the impending smell of death. I succumbed to the blanketing dread. Leo. You could just release me, I pleaded. I'll go. I won't be able to stop you. The bomb will still go off. City Hall will still come down. I can make it out at least. Please. Leo. No, he shouted, his voice seeming to pound louder through my brain. I choose when I die. I choose when you die. We choose when you all die. I don't deserve this, I cried. I have a family. A family that loves me. A family that needs me. I have a family too, Leo yelled. You have made my family suffer for many years. Many years. But now eat a Euro trademark our turn. My family is large and strong. We are willing to do whatever it takes. You cannot defeat us. You're wrong, I shook my head with a wail, wondering if he was right. Today your loss shall be far greater than ours. Far greater. We are but a few. Your numbers will be many. We have infiltrated you. Those that survive will live in fear. Our country doesn't give in to terrorism, I screeched. We are not terrorists, he bellowed. We are terror itself. Chapter 60. October 3, 2014. 1 minute to go. The final minute. IA Euro trademark D hoped it wouldn't Euro trademark T come to this. 1 minute to reflect. 1 minute to contemplate. 1 minute to die. I guess everybody eventually experiences that final minute in their lives. I just happened to have a digital display counting mine down for me. 52 seconds. My shoulders slumped, defeated. Sweat and tears indistinguishable. Would I hear the bang? Yes. Leo shouted with fanatical zeal. Deliverance is almost here. No, Leo. I howled. They'll build it again. They'll build it stronger. You failed. 45 seconds. Leo looked at the clock at my feet and laughed maniacally. It was time. I've failed? Ha. In 10 minutes, another bomb goes off in another city. And another. And another. What? You're bluffing, I screamed. 38 seconds. The padlock pressed callously against my palm. It was the stone-cold, tranquil feeling of death. Alexander. Valentine. Sergei. Yakov. Grigory. Meet me in the promised land. And that's when he made the mistake. That's when he finally let it slip. That's when he ultimately thought he'd won. That's what I'd spent an hour waiting for. 28 seconds. Leo had reached into his pocket, producing a sheet of paper. His eyes were scorched with destruction and power. He began to read aloud. The seconds ticked on. 22 seconds. The next city. Before he could finish, I was thrusting towards him, the straps unwinding as the padlock fell open to the floor. A hard jab of my fingers to his throat and he was immobilized. I knew his weak spots. I'd been running surveillance on Leo Bebhook for months. 12 seconds. Pork chops. I shouted, knowing Mike Bacon had been listening the whole time, via my customized phone. We were right. I'm sending you the list now. 6 seconds. My phone scanned the bomb list. I calmly leant down, switched the bomb off, and released a breath. 2 seconds. Hi, I'm Holly Holloway, International Super Agent. Safe. A euro. The end a euro. Now we will read the first 4 chapters of the follow-up book, Massacre of the 60 a euro. Massacre of the 60, Book 2. Dave Johnston. Chapter 1. February 4, 2014. 1 hour to go. The buzzer thundered to begin. Life. Death. Plunder. Glory. I crouched, wired to strike. Forked knives were clutched loosely in my hands, each blade a foot in length, both fully equipped to split a person open. Sharpened to maim. Sharpened to kill. Sharpened to unleash that crimson spray. As a woman, I would be underestimated. It was a given. Despite my evident physical stature. Despite my perfect samurai stance. Despite my brutal intentions. My shock red hair should have been assigned to them. A warning, to the 5 men currently in the room with me. That their blood would run freely. They would soon understand. The man dubbed Black Saturday barreled towards me, wielding a ferocious machete. His name was lit up on the scoreboard above us. His life force flashed at full power. I shifted my weight, primed, in my black bodysuit. My own name, Holly Holloway, glared digitally in the low light. At 6 foot, Black Saturday was an inch taller than me. I didn't hold it against him. I didn't give him an inch. As he approached at speed, I pirouetted, taking off his left arm with the biting steel in my left hand, the blade slicing through the bone and burying deep into his ribs. Up went the knife in my right hand, sharply through the soft tissue beneath his jaw. It pierced his tongue, penetrated the palatine bone in the roof of his mouth, then drove relentlessly onwards, rooting into his skull. As his muscular body began its unavoidable collapse to the floor, I wrenched my weapons free, kicking Black Saturday's machete behind me. Any day of the week, pal, any day. Black Saturday's light flickered and dimmed. I quickly scanned the rest of the room. I wondered where I would pile another 58 bodies a euro. Chapter 2. January 4, 2014. 11 hours and 45 minutes to go. I saw Sally's daughter in town today, Mum said, pottering about at the sink. Mum always seems to take an age washing the dishes. I swear, I could clean the whole house in 10 minutes flat. She's very pretty, you know, Mum continued lightly. Oh, here it came a euro. She was having her hair cut. Well, I say cut, it was more of a trim. You know, just at the edges, where it reaches her shoulders. Madge Holloway, the Sultana of Subtlety. Mum, I like my hair short. And red though. Mum responded casually. In my opinion, I think auburn would suit your complexion perfectly, dear. You know, the way all the celebrities are wearing it these days. What do they call it? A bob, is it? It was relentless tact. I couldn't imagine the drama if I commented on her style. I mean, there would defo be tears. Don't you think it complements my black outfit? I asked cavalierly. Mum always sucked me into the point where I couldn't let it go. She turned to me, hips slightly askew, head cocked to one side. My book friends asked me recently if you were in a band. You know, one of those heavy metal ones. Ha ha. I burst. Was it the nipple ring that gave it away? You haven't, have you? Oh, I see, you're winding me up. That would be the end of me. Now wasn't the time to bring up the scars or the tattoos then. My left thumb rubbed at the writing on the side of my ribs, inscribed forever with my father's words to my baby brother. Sam, lost to us when I was 7. Well, Mum sighed reluctantly. I guess it's all a phase anyway, you know, like the vegetarianism. Mum! I exclaimed, infuriated. I've been a vegetarian for 16 years. Chapter 3. February 4, 2014. 58 minutes to go. 58 minutes of killing remained. I stayed where I was in the corner. With so many combatants in the battle arena, I needed to keep my back covered. There was blood. A lot of it. Everywhere. Nail Kirchali and Tazba were going at it. Hard. I don't know if you've ever witnessed a fight involving knives or swords or blades. It doesn't last long. There isn't that constant clashing of metal you see at the movies. The blades eventually bite. The body eventually bleeds. The other two men were grappling on the floor, their weapons broken or disarmed. Tika. Tulu had Kojo Solomon pinned and in trouble. Kojo was on his back, Tika's full weight, driving his knees down and through Kojo's biceps. Tika was the bigger man, and Kojo was struggling to dislodge him. With his free hands, Tika was raining down punches to Kojo's face. With his arms restrained, Kojo was unable to block them. There was to be no tapping out. Tika decided to finish it early, grabbing Kojo's head around the ears and slamming it into the concrete floor with furious repetition. All the while I waited. I conserved. I inched closer. Kojo's head was spilling out the back now, Tika lost in a frenetic rage. Switching to Black Saturday's machete in place of my forked knives, I inched closer still. Tika's wrath was all-consuming in victory. He was tearing at Koja a Euro trademark's face now, his back exposed. The tip of my machete penetrated to Ka Euro trademark's trapezius muscle, as my body weight forced the blade down, crunching through his internal organs and out into the void between him and the dead Kojo. Ka Euro trademark's knees gave way, and the steel continued its unending course towards the floor. I stood up quickly, retrieved my knives, and left Tika Tulu and Kojo Solomon joined unanimously in death. Chapter 4. February 4, 2014. 57 minutes to go. Tazba's left arm was hanging limp. The muscles in his forearm were split open. The wound was dirty and gaping. Nail Kirchali was pounding him with a sword, raising it above his head, then bringing it down with a chopping motion towards Tazba's body. Taz was defending one-handed with his own sword, but was fast fatiguing. This contest looked over. Nail Kirchali raised the blade again to strike, then dropped it vertically downwards. Flipped it to horizontal, and drove it hard through Tazba's stomach. Tazba stumbled backwards off the blade in deathly horror, as Nail Kirchali turned to face the only other person left alive. Me. 10 meters of space separated us. But now I didn't need to wait in the corner. Now I didn't need to protect my back. Not yet, anyway. We met in the middle with a clang of steel, my two knives catching his thrusting sword within their forked blades. I swiftly cartwheeled my body over the top of the entangled metal, wrenching the sword from Nail Kirchali's twisted wrists. It skittered across the floor, thumping into the far wall as I forced each of my knives quickly into his shoulders, then began to drive him back across the room. Faster and faster I pushed him. He was unable to fight back without forcing the blades deeper into himself. As he continued to backpedal, Nail Euro trademark's heel caught the body of Tazba, bleeding out on the floor, and he stumbled backwards and over. I timed my jump, landing my feet flush into Nail's face as the back of his head connected with the floor. He was straight dead on impact. I dropped to one knee